Друзья, всем большой привет. В этом видео я для вас прочитаю книгу на английском. Автор Луиза Мэй Алкотт. Little Women. Всем приятного прослушивания. Подписывайтесь, пожалуйста, на мой канал. Ставьте лайки, пишите комментарии. Ну а мы начинаем. Сначала хотелось бы зажечь вот эту свечу. Что читать не всю книгу за одно видео. Может быть, странички 2 для вас почитаю. Расслабляйтесь. Chapter 1. Lane Pilgrims. Christmas won't be Christmas without any presents, grumble Joe. Lying on the rug. It's so dreadful to be poor, sighed Meg, looking down at her old dress. I don't think it's fair for some girls to have lots of pretty things, and other girls nothing at all, added little Amy with an injured sniff. You've got father and mother, and each other anyhow, said Beth, contentedly from Yogone. The 4 young faces on which the firelight shone brightened and the jewel words, but darkened again as Joe said sadly, We haven't got father, and shall not have him for a long time. She didn't say perhaps never, but each silently added, thinking of father far away, where the fighting was. Nobody spoke for a minute. Then Meg said it, and Meg said in an altered tone, You know the reason Mother proposed not having any presents this Christmas was because it is going to be a hard winter for everyone. And she thinks we ought not to spend money for pleasure when our men are suffering so in the army. We can't do much, but we can make our little sacrifices and ought to do it lately. But I'm afraid I don't. And Meg shook her head as she thought regretfully of all the pretty things she wanted. But I don't think the little we should spend would do any good. But I don't think the little short spend would do any good. If each got $1 and the army wouldn't be much helped by our giving that, I agree not to expect anything from mother of you. But I do want to buy London and Syndrome myself. I wanted it so long, said Joe, passive firm. I plan to spend mine in your music, said Beth with a little sigh, which no one heard. At the red brush and get a louder. I shall get a nice box of paper drawing pencils. I really need them, said Amy decidedly. Mother didn't say anything about our money, and she won't wish us to give up everything. Let's each buy what we want and have a little fun. I'm sure we'd rub hard enough to burn it, cried Joe, examining the heels of your boots in a gentlemanly manner. I know I do, teaching those dreadful children nearly all day. When I'm longing to enjoy myself at home, began Meg, in the complaining tone again. You don't have half such a hard time as I do, said Joe. How would you like to be shut up hours with a nervous, fussy old lady who keeps you trotting, is never satisfied, and worries you till you're ready to fly out of the window or box here, ears? It's not a bread, but a think. Washing dishes and keeping things tidy is the first work in the world. Makes me cross, and my hands get too stiff. I can't practice well at all. And Beth looked at your rough hands with a sigh that anyone would care that time. I don't believe any of you suffer as I do, cried Amy. But you don't have to go to school with pregnant girls like you. If you don't know your lessons and laugh at your dresses and label your father if he isn't rich and insult you when your nose isn't nice. If you mean label it, I'd say so and not talk about labels as if for chemical bottle advice, Joe laughing. I know what I mean. And you needn't struggle about it. It's proper to use good words and improve your vocabulary, returned. Don't beg at one another, children. Don't you wish you had the the money Papa lost when we were a little Joe? Dear me, how happy and good we'd be if you had no worries, said Meg. Could remember at the times. You said the other day you thought we were a deal happier than the King children. They were fighting and fretting all the time in spite of their money. So I did bet. Well, I guess we are. But though we do have to work, make fun for ourselves, and are pretty jolly, said that Joe would say. Joe does use such slang words, observed Amy with a reproving look at the long figure stretched on the rug. Joe immediately sat up, put your hands in your apron pockets, and began to whistle. Don't, Joe. So boyish. That's why I do it. I detest rude, unladylike girls. I hate affected mimini teens. Birds in their little nests agree. Sang Bell, the peacemaker, with such a funny face that both sharp voices softened laugh, and the begin ended for that time. Really, girls, you're about to be blamed, said Mel, beginning to lecture in her elderly fashion. You're old enough to leave all boyish tricks and behave better, Josephine. It didn't matter so much when you were a little girl, but now you are so tall and turned up your hair. You should remember that you are a young lady. I'm not. And if turning up my hair makes me one, I'll wear it into tails till I'm 20, cried Joe, pulling off your net and shake it down to just not mine. I had to think I've got to grow up and be Miss March and wear long coats and so as prim as a giant Esther. It's bad enough to be a girl anyway when I like boys' games and work and manners. Can't get over my disappointment in not being a boy, and it's worse than ever now. Burn died to go and find it, Papa, and I can only say it all. And neat, like a bulky old woman. And Joe shook the blow. Army saw till the needles rattled the leg stillness and your ball pounded across the room. Oh, Joe, it's too bad, but it can't be helped, so you must try to begin tended to making your name boyish and plain rather to us girls, said Beth, stroking the rough hand at her knee. The hand that all dishwasher and dusting in the world could make, ungentle in its touch. It's you, Amy, continued Meg. You're altogether too particular and prim. Your airs are funny now, but you grow up and affect little girls if you don't take care. I like your nice manners and refined way of speaking when you don't try to be elegant, but your absurd words are as bad as Joe's slang. If Joe is a dumb boy and Emmy a goose, what I am, please? Asked Beth, ready to share the lecture. But dear, did nothing else, answered Meg Burnley, and no one contradicted her, for the mouse was the pet of your of the family. As young readers like to know how they look, I will take this moment to give them a little sketch of their fourth sister who sat knitting away in the twilight while the December show fell widely without and the fire crept cheerfully within. It was a comfortable old room, though the carpet was faded and the furniture airplane or a good picture or two hung on the walls. Built their sesses and listen the mums and the Christmas rose. A roses bloomed in the window and the pleasant atmosphere of home is faded it. Margaret, eldest of the four, was 16, very being plump and fair, with large eyes, plenty of soft brown hair, a sweet mouth, white hands, which she was rather vain. 15 years old, Joe was very tall, thin, and brown, and reminded one of the cold, but they never seemed to know what to do. Your long limbs, which curve very much in your way. She had a decided mouth, comical nose, and sharp gray eyes, which appeared to see everything and go, and were by turns fierce, funny, and thoughtful. Your long, thick hair was your one beauty. And okay, let's stop. Листаю страниц, листаю. Книжка не большая. Может быть, кто-то читал произведение на русском языке. Как вам понравилось? Периодически выпускать видео с чтением. Я думаю, нужно продолжать читать одну и ту же книжку. Продолжать читать книжку, ну, либо с каждой книжки фрагмент. Спасибо за прослушивание, друзья. Продолжим в следующих видео. Всем спасибо. До следующих видео. До следующих встреч с вами на канале АСМР. И всем пока-пока-пока-пока. Пока-пока. Всем пока-пока-пока-пока. Пока-пока.